Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again after week's breaks to season 28, sorry, of AOR F1 main tier, and we are once again back for some action. We are kicking off the second half of the season, and we have Singapore, Portugal, with a neighbor race in Spain after that, and then there's some break to our season once again because of the real life events happening in America. Noticeably, COTA, as well as Mexico and Brazil. So they're obviously for Europe in the time zone. You can't really race on AOR. After that, we head to China, Austria, Saudi Arabia, and also neighboring country is Abu Dhabi there, as well as the a bit more distant Brazilian race at the end of the season. And race 12 to 16 are back to back, and glad you are joining me once again for tonight. We're having a quick look at the track map for tonight. It's a Singapore Grand Prix with the revamped third sector after there's been a building complex placed where the old grandstand was, and now we are heading on a straight there, which was originally into turns 16, 17, 18 is now removed, and we're down to 19 corners, 3 DRS zones. The recent change for last week's race is not in the game, so we have to go with 3 DRS zones and the best overtaking opportunity into turn 7 at the start of the second sector. And we have the race result from last time. Oh, small mistake here on my side. Hang on. Okay. We have another win from Rising Moon, and Karim once again in second, third time in a row. For him, he is actually closing in on Glücksburn, who only finished fourth. We had a race at Silverstone that was full of fights, as you can expect. Very good track to have fights on. And Rising Moon had an overcut by 3 laps, and Tesik as well as Karim were fighting throughout. And after Rising could clear them, they were in a fight for second. Last lap attempt by Tesik didn't work out, but very strong showing by the McLaren and Red Bull driver respectively. As mentioned, Glücksburn only fourth, so that lead has been increased, but Rising Moon is too consistent, and we will soon see what that means in the Drivers' Championship. Kramer fifth, good result there for Red Bull in total, and Solid Ninja Snake making a huge step towards a Mercedes Constructors Championship. Max Tucker in 7th. Cypher only in 8th after replacing Jamie. Jamie, he has only been outside the top 6 so far. Him also saying in the interview last time that he's trying to get some points on the board, but that's obviously very difficult with 8th. Tobias in 9th, Rivershan as a reserve once again in 10th. And then Pointless Lucas passed the horses at the fastest lap. Pedro, Byrne, and Gabriel in 14th and 15th, respectively. Drivers' Championship looks like this. There's a 61 point lead now, and as you can see, there's a 3 race winning streak now for Rising Moon after what is a very dominant performance so far with only 3 second places so far. And every time he finishes, he's in the top 2. Glücksburner in second then, and then it's Karim, Tesik, who are fighting for third, but if Glücksburner is not cautious, then they will catch him. And as you can see there, 2 out of 3 races, Tesik in 4th has been on the podium, and Karim is now back to back second places after having basically no podiums in the first quarter of the season. So Red Bull 5th with Kramer, overtook Jamie, who is not with us anymore. not racing here. And then we have Solid Ninja Snake making some moves into P10. And after that, no changes, but Cypher scoring his first points in 4th. So, yeah, scoring 4 points in 8th. And he's 20th now. And we have Constructors Championship lead by 29 points. And then it's a 75-point gap to Red Bull. So, yeah, Red Bull scoring strong over McLaren, especially that 0-point race in Monaco hurting them a bit. And it's 72 to Williams and Sauber 31, 27 for Aston, 26 for Alpine, Ferrari 15, and Haas still only with 2. Most notably, still no replacement, no full-time replacement for Jim Wong, who had good showings in the early stage of the race before leaving as well. So, yeah, and Lucas as well as who has replaced him? Tudor. Have not been good with scoring so far. So yeah, there's some gaps, and most interestingly, is obviously how Red Bull and McLaren can maybe bring the fight to VCAR, because they need to start seriously increasing pace and consistency to get back that 29 points, which is possible. I think both of them are overall faster than the Mercedes lineup, but the 7-point gap you get for a win over second place is already very huge every time. So it's gonna be tricky. And yeah, let's head into the main event, which I hope has started now. Yes, indeed. We are only 12 drivers. Well, okay, Rise and Moon is here. We have Solid Ninja Snake. We have Pedro as well as Tobias. We have Kramer and Desig. And we have Tudor, but no Lucas. We have Byrne, but no Pedro. We have Karim, but no Gabriel. We have Max Duca. Then there's Super for Haas. And there's no one for Kick. And only Rivershan as a reserve is here for V-Carb. That's a bit disappointing. But let's see what we can get in terms of action here today. As the first drivers are heading out onto the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Okay, yeah, let me know if sounds is good for you. The game is very sound sensitive this year. Ben is the first car out and he's cutting. Don't like to see that, honestly. Shouldn't be allowed. Kramer's out, Rivershan just exited the pits. We have Solid Ninja Snake falling Tudor throughout the second sector, coming to the newest edition of a DS zone. If you are not aware, this straight... Hang on, wrong driver. Where's the Williams? This straight was the newest edition, but the detection zone for this straight is also the same for this straight. So there's, after this turn, in front of turn 15, there's now a DS marker board, and you can activate it on this part of the track. To be honest, I don't think 4 DS zones are gonna make this track better? Becker? What the fuck? I just said Baker in German. Sorry. Yeah, so I think the 90-degree corners and medium speed corners are just too bad for racing in Singapore. Honestly, I love this track. It's one of my favorites, even with the it's my favorite one. Next to Monza. So honestly, I love how a lot of elements here, but I think overall these very odd positioning of the corners sometimes before the straights are just not helpful. The slow moving part here just doesn't help. Like the best example for this and the best comparison for a track like Singapore is always Russia. Obviously in real life the race was very boring, as Burns has the fastest lap of the race so far. And next across the line is Tudor, and he beats that by 0.4 of a second. And next is Solid Ninja Snake. Goes third, and then Kremer for Red Bull. And he is into second. After that it's Tobias who's starting a lap, and then it's Max Duca into fourth on a 27.9. And after that it's Pedro out of the last chicane on this track. And into third, also on a 27.5. And then next across the line is Rivershan, as there's a brief yellow flag at the end of the first sector for slow moving car. 28.2, that's currently the slowest time. Let's see if Karim can go to provisional pole position. He cannot, but it's very close. What about Super in the Haas? Goes to provisional pole position by over 0.4 of a second, and Tudor has retired on track. And that is directly in front of Tesik. Wasn't really... And... Wow, Rising Moon is even behind that time at the moment. Very impressive. But, yeah, Tudor will not improve past P3, as he has now crashed the car, and Tesik has demoted him to 4th already, and that's a time good enough for P2 right now for Tesik. And Tobias goes over the line for a time that is fast enough for P9. And the rest heads into the track, into the pits. So yeah, what I was trying to talk about is that these corners are just not in a good place. They're too slow speed, and you bunch up, and then after you accelerate, you just lose time, and the straights are not that long enough. So this is why turn 7 at the start of the second sector into turn 7 is the best overtaking opportunity, because you have a medium speed corner before that, and in front of, yeah, actually the second DRS zone. If you start counting, yeah, well, I think DRS must be always the third, so the first one. So DRS on the main straight. So the third one where Tobias is right now is not benefiting from the slow turn before, and this is also not a medium speed corner. So if this angle would have been widened by cutting the inside line a bit more, so that the corner opens up more naturally, then that's better. Obviously gonna get a bit more worse in terms of like a braking zone after the S straight, but honestly you could just remodel that. They make that turn more flowing, more medium speed, just copy it basically just like turn 5 is. Remove the DRS on there, have an angle that's less sharpened than the one right now, and then you're good to go. Yeah, and DRS on the main straight is just pointless. Obviously, stay medium to high speed, double apex left-hander, but like the straight is just too short. And the best chance after that comes into turn 7 anyway, which is just a couple of corners after that, and also there's a detection zone, so yeah. And like it's my favorite track, but still like this section here where Solid Ninja Snake, this chicane is just horrible. Just flatten the curbs. Like honestly, why curbs on a street track? This is also why I hate Baku more than I used to. I hate curbs on a street track. Why? Just put sausage curb like they did in Canada for this year, I think, or maybe last year. I don't think they're on the game yet. And just put them where you think the maximum of corner cutting basically the drivers can do without leaving the track. Like, because you can still cut a lot on the inside of the Wall of Champions chicane. Just on the right hand side, not on the left hand side. And this is where the curb is more sensitive to the car, basically. And if they do that, then it feels way better to drive. Because the turn in, you need to miss the apex on the right hand side. But if you go too deep or just slightly turn in too late, or tap the just a slight tap with the front right tire to the curb on the right hand side, then you just lose the car already. And then you have to go over the second curb and also get a warning for corner cut. So stupid. There's so much more potential in this track. Who's the next car to cross the line for a lap? That's Solid Ninja Snake. We are currently into the 8.5 minutes left on the clock. Everyone has set a time. And 10 drivers are within a second of each other. And let's see if Solid Ninja Snake can make that 11. And he can. And he jumps to 4th position. Just 2 tenths behind his championship bound teammate. Wow. Very good effort from Solid Ninja Snake. Very impressive. And these 2 cars are now starting. But Kramer is finishing another lap. Goes to 4th. Splits the Mercedes. Good job. Max Luca into the pit lane. Not so great. That's an outlap. That's an outlap. That's a fast lap. Then that's an outlap as well. Let's see River Shan next. Very out camera angle. 8 tenths faster. Oh yeah. Also that outside corner cutting or exceeding the track limit is just stupid there. Last 2 turns on this second run for River Shan. Currently has probably 1 second improvement in his car, and that is correct. And he goes to 4th briefly before Burn puts it into 4th. And next to cross the line is Karim, who's currently only in 9th. Very close at the top now. Top 6 within 3 tenths. Can't believe can't fit. Oh, and Karim was even faster! And Pedro's also into 4th. What is going on? Singapore is the storyteller of the season. Well, it's completely the opposite of the storytelling of the season so far. Because 9 cars are now currently within 3 tenths of a second. Let's see if Rising Moon can edge out a gap here. And he can. He goes 8 tenths faster than Karim. Wow. What a demonstration of performance. If we remove Rising Moon, it's 3 tenths between second. Wow, and Tobias goes even into the 27.0s as well. Beats his teammate. What is going on here? Please remove Rising Moon. And then we have P2 to P10. No, P2 to P11 within 4 tenths of a second. Wow. Looks like, yeah, we're gonna have a good race for P2. Sorry, Rising Moon, if you've seen this. Yeah. Love to see a race where there's a bit more competition for P1, as you can imagine. And Super, has he improved? No, he's starting lap, okay. Oh, imagine we had 20 people now. Wow. What a great... Oh, he had invalidated this lap. What a great shootout here for second now. 4 people on a 27.0. And Tobias is in there. That's certainly a surprise. Don't know if Max Duga has trouble with the track limits or if the car just doesn't feel right, but yeah, he's far out there. Everyone is in now. 4 minutes to go. I expect everyone will have a final and last run here. As the Mercedes just completely drives through the Red Bull to be received by his garage. So, yeah, Tudor might be looking at P12. And I'm surprised that Solid Ninja Snake, who was briefly 4th, is now 10th. And OR Super's still out, but he's probably coming back in. He's not. He starts his final run early, if that's everything that he has left in the fuel tank. Oh, the fucking Ferrari sounds are so annoying now. After the patch from 2 weeks ago. Just sounds so muffled. Anyway. On board app with the Haas driver from France. Bit of overstay there, and Rising Moon is gonna do the 2013 Sebastian Vettel and taking pole position from the pit lane. He's certain that no one can beat him with a gap of 8 tenths. And he is certainly right to do so. And that is another mistake. And the run has ended here before I could even get going on about details. And to me that looked like rear tire lockup, so please move your front brake bias to a higher number. Thank you very much. Yeah, honestly, if Rising would be absent for the next 5 races, where we still would have 2 more to go, he still would win the whole thing. Because I'm certainly gonna win this one. And Glücksburner, who's not here, who's his closest rival, is not gonna score. So Tizik and Karim can just take the fight for third now to be a fight for second. And that's way too little time now left for Super. So he screwed his final run. And he only needed 9,000 of a second. Which is doable. As River Share now starts a flying lap. We are now heading into, and he has validated it already as well. I need someone who can finish a lap here now. On to burn. First 3 corners. Very well managed. Used all of the exits. Curb on the right hand side of 2. And good entry into turn number 5. Onto the straight here. And here's a 10th up currently. Which as we all know is quite a lot right now. Because people are so close together. Use a second here for a bit extra rotation. And third as well. My car is hooked up by personally use 4th. For more traction. Also third here, that's fine. There's a second. And then goes over the curb. Moves briefly to the left hand side to set the car up for the right. That is very close to the wall there, and a bit of his advantage is now lost as he is heading into the final sector with these rebranded straight. And he's heading to that final chicane. There's a lot of curb on the right hand side. Slight brush to the wall on the outside. And now probably flat. And he is not faster. And that is 7 for him. It's now... Oh, Karim has bottled it. So he's probably gonna be attacked from behind. There's an 8th position now for Solid Ninja Snake. Well, Tezek didn't improve. What about Kramer? And Tobias? Kramer improves just a tiny bit, but not his position. But Tobias could be... Oh, Tezek went to 26.7. Sorry, didn't see 26.7. And that's a 26.9 for Tobias. What on earth is going on here? Tobias third. What? This guy is on fire tonight. Love to see it. Wow. That's honestly really great. Rising Moon takes pole position by half a second. Briefly 8/10 of a gap. Tobias third. Then it's Karim fourth. And we have Super in fifth. Pedro in sixth. They all did not improve on their final attempts. Burner 7th. Solid Ninja Snake just jumps over Shen, who was also not improving. Kramer down in 10th to the 11th. And Max Stuka was able to improve, but not by much. And I'm just gonna quickly see what the best result for Tobias was so far. 6 in the race. And P3 is a very good starting point here. Burn has the best top speed right now. Pedro's close to that as well. And Solid Ninja Snake has the least. Yeah. Can already read that from data here. So this is race 9, Singapore. And today is the 29th of September 2024. Can't believe we have August already around the corner. October, I mean. I obviously mean October, okay? Calm your horses. This is just a quick personal comment, but if you've seen the previous broadcast, you know that Rising Moon is not gonna show up to race interviews, which I kind of think is arrogant now. A bit, to be honest. Just a personal note. Reminds me of a certain other driver I know. But you don't know them, so that's fine. And the formation lap is underway. And we only have River Shan on the hard tire at the start. Predicted is a one stop. And you will probably run the medium tire for 15. And the hard for 16 lap. After that you just swap. It's very close in terms of pit window one. If not the closest pit window. In earlier iterations of the game, that went to Silverstone, I think. So yeah, you can actually still pit on lap 15 with the hard tires and brings 16 laps. Or make 16 laps work for you on the mediums. The hard tires just a bit rough at the start for the first, I'd say 5 laps. I raced them myself here, just 10 days ago. My map is off, hang on. Yeah, 13, almost, yeah, well, 12 days ago. Hards tend to go 20 laps at least, but they drop off. Now the formation lap has been completed. And the drivers are lining up on the grid. And just gonna leave this to none for now. Oh, as we go to 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix, and it's a good start from Tezik, who's challenging Rising Moon into the first turn, but there's a bit of starting phase in the second phase here for the Mercedes. There's damage to the front wing of Pedro, who has now been demoted to 9th as they all scramble for positions, and River Shan is trying to defend from said Ferrari drivers. There's a very wonky exit out of turn 5 for Byrne, as he is being challenged by Kremer, who himself challenged Super for what is now 6th position, as these top 4 are getting away. Good start also from Tobias, keeping Karim off his feet and showing him the cold shoulder there. So Roshan is obviously now trying to make these hard work. They need to warm up if you couldn't get them to a good temperature on the formation lap. Tire warm up is horrible, and Rising Moon has already extended the gap past 1 second. And we can see how Byrne is currently leading Kremer, Super, River Shan, as well as Max Duga. I'm interested to see if Pedro pits. Front right end plate is missing. That's bad for this track. And he decides to stay out. So Rising Moon obviously puts in the fastest lap as of right now. And this is just following the guy in front inside the slipstream to make sure that you can use stairs here now. First activation of it comes by a Ferrari, who is now managing the gap to the car in front. There's currently no real pressure from behind us. They're just trying to get away here. And everyone is still in position now. Studer is also at the rear diffuser of the Mercedes ahead. Let's see if there's an opportunity here. Quite a gap to between most of these cars. And there's Tudor now to the inside of turn 14. and overtakes Solid Ninja Snake for P11, which results in a now Mercedes sandwich, as the first driver is in first and the second is in 12th. And Super is fighting Burn, who just lost the position to Kremer. And now braking for turn 1. Yeah, they are all lining up in a single file. There's one good line there, and you just have to make sure you just don't bottle it on entry. And Max Stuka is fighting hard to defend from Pedro. Is still having a good shout here, as Tobias was having a look, and Super has overtaken Kremer for 5th. The French team premates are just swapping positions here, as there's been a lock up to the front tires from Kremer there in the background, and Byrne is still in position to benefit of a mistake from cars in front. And the gap between 4th and 5th is now to 3 seconds roughly, as Rivershan is probably feeling more heat in his tires soon. And there is a move by Tudor once again into turn 14, and he is now into 10th and takes 1 point currently for his efforts. And Tesik is under pressure. A lot of ES usage by Tobias in this group. No, sorry, what? By Tesik, sorry. Wrong car. And the rest just stays behind. Let's see if there's an attack coming from the Ferrari driver. Takes a very short line at the exit of 4. Oh well, turn 3 and 4. And we can see from the rear view of the Red Bull that the Ferrari is closing in, but there's no chance of an overtake run now, and there's no Kremer back into 5th after repassing Super 1 lap later, and they are still closely together, still in each other's proximity, as there's a mistake by Pedro that leads to him losing 11th to Solid Ninja Snake, who's now trying to get back to cars ahead. And if Pedro is about to lose the DRS to the cars in front, he should start thinking about pitting. Also, a lot of ES charge being held by the second Ferrari. And this race is all about lunges from Tudor into corners. Takes the Italian driver of Max Stuka by surprise, and Romania moves into 9th position after starting 11th, being demoted to 12 at the start, and now fighting for more points ahead. I think a 4-point, almost a 4-point gap between. And Tobias goes it! But Tesik has defended it, and Super has reclaimed 5th from Kremer. But they're still fighting here. And Tobias is into 2nd! And now Tesik is defending on the inside from Karim, but stays ahead. Yes, charges very low, battery is very low and drained compared to competitors around him. He's currently in that sandwich with a German and a Lebanese driver, and they are holding a good amount of charge to defend from him. Bit deep from Tesik. Is there an opportunity? Wrong car. For the McLaren driver, as Byrne has been demoted. Oh, there was a attempt. Is there damage to Byrne? No, he just lost the car. It's now 11th. Karim, is he gonna try and move? He's trying a move to the inside. Oh, they tap each other's cars. And Karim is through right now. But is vulnerable to Tezik. And Tobias is off. And going. And if two fight, the third enjoys the ride. Because his gap is now extended. Kramer is now taking 5th again. And this pixelated smoke from the tires and lockups looks shit. And Pedro has even overtaken Byrne. And he's losing. He's losing big time. 1.0 the gap now to the next car. And that currently would mean there's no DS for this upcoming DS straight for him. And Tudor wants to get by on Rivershan right now. He's not using too much of his tires in this train, which is good on a track like this. Oh, and there's damage to Super's car! Left hand side damage after hitting the wall in turn 14. And Rivershan is thinking about a move, and the Czech driver goes into 6th position. Seizes the opportunity after damage to the Haas car. And he's pitting. He's pitting to new tires. No, he's not. Did he overshoot the turn? Did he overshoot the turn? Surely he overshoot the turn. I saw him go into the pit lane and he overshot the entry. And there's a 3-second time penalty to his name as well. Karim is still defending from Tezik and Tobias is taken. What is going on with him? A week's break and suddenly he's up into 2nd position. My man is a Singapore connoisseur. Wow! I don't know why Germans love Singapore then. Because I'm German myself. And he's looking good. He's looking damn fine, my guy. Well done so far. Also, Rivershan having a good race. There's no pit stop, so let's close this. Rising Moon, yeah, well. No screen time until the last lap for him. Probably. And everyone is, I've jinxed it now, but everyone is still in the race. Surely that's a pit stop now for Super. Surely. This time he didn't overshoot. And that's... oh, sorry. Just hit the volume changer on my headset from time to time. Tezik is defending from Karim, but made a mistake. He locked the fronts. And Karim goes through on the inside with a switchback move. And now Kremer's even back into this fight. They fought too long. They fought too hard. And did Tezik enable Kremer to be in this group now? Because obviously if they both can undercut him, then that's a free position and a podium spot, which they need right now. And there's a spin. There's a spin by Rivershan at the exit of turn 12. 10. No, it's probably 13. Yeah, turn 13. Got no damage. Pedro's holding on quite well with his damage. Must be yellow at least. And it's on the right hand side. And this track is a left. It's anti-clockwise, so it's... oh, there's a spin! 2 doors off! No damage somehow. And Solid Ninja Snake is into the pit lane. Tires. Has damage to his car as well. Tobias has just signed off completely here. Because they just keep battling. Just gonna have these tires open now because pit stops are coming soon. And if people want to undercut, they can do so. And Tezik goes back into third. Or does he? did not complete the move on track. And Karim is now into 4th. Had a good fight in Silverstone, but I think that might be something that he does not want to see. And that's Super retirement in the pits. Fortunately, our first retirement of this race. And Rivershan is fighting with Burn, and he is now into 8th after they lost contact to the group, to the big group. And Karim has had a very poor second and start of 3rd sector. He is under pressure now from Kramer after the first Red Bull had fought him. Or fought him. He has now the 2nd as a companion. Okay, let's leave this open. Pit stop for Burn, who is actually in P10 right now, and he goes to 2nd medium. Burn has pitted for a 2nd medium. Okay. Burn. 2 stop. Question mark? I think so. Yeah, well, if there's no safety car, that's not good for him. Tesik is keeping Karim and Kramer honest. Mark Zucker is still in that DRS, as we can see here on our screen. And let's see what they plan to do. They can jump the gun early, and I would highly recommend to do so. And probably with Kramer, obviously a chance to undercut both of them, but they can still swap it around at the end. Because if Karim had no DS at the end of the pit stop phase, that would be a win for them. I'm very loose on the exit there. As Tudor is currently also unable to follow River Shan, whose tires are now coming in more and more at this stage of the race. Almost pit stop time, a lot of curb usage there on the entry of turn 5, and there's now an opportunity presented to Karim to go for another move here into turn number 7. They touch! Karim and Tizik touch once again, just very slight. And now Kramer's looking racy, is now closer to his teammate than his teammate is to the car in front, and Pedro and Max Stuka are just keeping it in. Pedro's driving a fantastic race. That car is not on its performance peak with that damage, and he still has not lost the group that is currently providing crucial DRS 3 times, or as you can also say, thrice per lap. And that is an impressive performance. Ferrari currently, not to jinx it, have done an immaculate job. And is Kramer changing position here now? He's very close to his teammate. But no. And as you might know, there's no on-track communication as Tizik is pulling the trigger. And Pedro has received a 3-second time penalty. That is unfortunate, but still not the end of this world. And I'm interested to see if he's gonna repair that damage, because he still has more pace to offer. Despite him probably dropping back another... well, he's gonna drop back another 5 seconds with a front wing damage. And Tudor is in as well. So gaps are now interesting, sorry. I think roughly 24 seconds is a pit stop here. Despite being at 60 kph pit lane. So let's see. Tizik is 37 behind the leader and was around 11 behind the leader before pitting, so that's actually 26 seconds. Also, tires are cold, so overcut might be strong. And Kramer could be the next car to come in, but there's also a chance for everyone else here in this group. Tobias is not responding, Karim is not responding, no one of this group is responding. And that might be because they think the DRS is still too effective for the lap times. The tires will not really wear out. They have dropped significantly in terms of pace already, but the difference per laps is currently very stable. And I think after lap 16 you will feel they need to maybe change tires. We just keep that gap to the leader. You can see on the track map how close these cars are. We have River Shan, who's also still in a starting tire. For him it's the Hearts in 7th. And 4 cars are in the first sector. And that's Tesik, Byrne, Solid Ninja Snake and Tudor. And you can see Tesik has brought the gap down by 2 seconds already after 1.5 laps, so he is definitely feeling them. That was lap 11 to 12. Tesik undercut. Gonna ask him a question about that later. And let's see. Tobias is still in a shot. So Tobias, no reaction. Karim pulls to the left-hand side, as does Max Duker. And they're now coming in to respond to what Red Bull is cooking so far. And he is now into the pit lane, as well as the Williams driver. Let's see. Tesik is now into this chicane. Oh, that car looked very stable on the curb right there. Then he has put down his ES to 40% and is racing them on the exit. And he is clearly ahead by the time he hits the brakes for turn 1. And they have not even completed that ring around the rosy for turn 1. And that small and very tricky pit exit. And that's now a 4-second undercut to tires that are only 2 laps fresher than his now. And they have to clear a 2-stopper. So Pedro. Yeah, let's see what Pedro can do. Rising move. Oh, yeah. I thought the damage was has increased, but no, still looks the same. Kramer needs to respond now. He is under threat from 3 cars to lose his position too. And Tobias is pitting. As does Kramer. Okay, so Tobias is aware of the undercut, potentially even now from Tesik, because that gap is now down to 33 seconds. Obviously not to Tobias, but compared. Tobias is now about to exit. Oh, that looks good from Tesik. He is racing. There's a 3-second time penalty for Karim as well. And it has been completed. Tesik is into what is now effectively 2nd place. And Tobias has only Byrne between him and Karim, who will be in, well, for now 3rd, but his time penalty is currently gifting Kramer 4th position. And Tobias is now has some work to do. And even more work, because Byrne is attacking him for 5th position. And that is not 4th position respectively, because Byrne still needs to pit again. He's on that 2-stop. No one is currently running. Pedro needs to come into the pits now and repair that front wing damage. to have some sort of late fight back despite his penalty. And Tobias is struggling. Karim is on his back. There is the DRS zone coming up. He has the Alpine in front. That's Slipstream available to him as well. That's DRS available to the Ferrari. But if Karim fancies it, he can go for it. And Max Duca is very close behind Kramer after these two pitted just a lap ago. And now Pedro's into the pit lane. And Karim goes for it. No, he just shows him. Karim was currently thinking about that. Let's go down to the normal gaps here. Rivershan is staying out. And Pedro is changing everything here. Let's see where he comes out. And now it's a 5-way fight currently for what is effectively second place. And Rivershan has a good opportunity to come back here. He is, roughly 15 seconds ahead of these guys. See if Tobias, he is using all of his ES to get by Bern. He is not fast enough. Bern was the fastest on the speed trap throughout qualifying, as Max Duca in the back has now received a 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Rising Moon cruising into the third sector there, as both of these passageways with their 90 degrees turns meet there at this stage of the race. And Bern is now vital to Tesik's second place hopes and dreams, because he has now extended the gap to 5 seconds to Tobias, and he was caught napping there. When did he pit? 15. Tobias undercut it. Kramer. Max. And there was a change for what is currently 6th position, as Rising Moon now pits from the lead and emerges ahead of Tesik with 1.2 seconds. And now Tobias is fighting Bern into turn number 1. Sorry, wrong car. And Bern is now also being attacked by Kramer. He's been pushed to the inside and has lost that position. Both of these cars, the Red Bull and the Ferrari, are very close to each other in terms of ERS battery, but there's a DRS advantage for Kramer, who now goes for it. Locks the front brakes a bit. And now there's Karim to the inside, and he hits the back. He hits the back slightly of Kramer and now unsettles the car of Bern, who's now immediately trying to repass him, as Max Duca is looking to gain something from this, and certainly Solid Ninja Snake and Tudor are back into this race, because two-stopper Bern is just holding them up. He has not the pace to complete anything inside the top 5 today, and he still needs to pit once again. What a move. And Rivershan is now also pitted. And he is probably gonna be out behind Max Duca and Solid Ninja Snake even, because the pit stop is so long. And Max Duca is ahead of Bern, who's just pitted again. But to what tire is he going for? Can only be the hard. Yeah. That's a medium hard. Yeah, well, if you want to. Tesik is still within that DS of Rising Moon right now, which is obviously helping, and Tobias has to gain a gap of 7.8 seconds back, which at this stage is quite literally impossible. The pace is too similar. And Max Duca has made a mistake that brings Solid Ninja Snake back into 6th position. And he just needs to try and get that gap down from Karim. Although Karim is in that DS zone. And there's train of Tobias now. And Tilsik has lost the DRS, and Rising Moon is probably gonna set the fast lap soon. Burn strategy is just something else. Yeah, and there it is. Is there attack by Karim now? Nope. No chance. For the Mercedes powered car against the Red Bull powered car, Studa is overtaking Max Stuka, who has lost his front right end plate. His front right end plate is damaged for the Williams, and now Pedro needs to get by soon because these guys are trying to get back into the DRS window for what is currently effectively third position, or what is third position. And Rivershan is not too far from them. You can see that. 5 seconds to Max Stuka, who himself is only less than 8 seconds to the next guy. So the more they fight, the more Rivershan is back into this race. And Max Stuka might be out of it soon. Car is too damaged. I don't know how Pedro managed to do it. Because that was some worldy drive so far. Let's look at some position changes for now. Kramer's up by 6. Very impressive so far to the 4 positions. And Max is up by 3. Burned down by 4. 7. Biggest loser. This race is super. And the top 3 haven't even changed. And everyone is on a 1 stop. Except for Burn, who is doing a 2 stop. I'm just gonna leave penalties here. Don't think tires will be relevant for at least another 10 laps. And Solid Ninja Snake is unable to gain on that DS train now. He has lost roughly 2 seconds again and is now very soon the leader of the next group. And there's a mistake by Tura, and he's crashed! And there's now a safety car to this race as Tura hit the barrier on the exit. The apex, the exit, the runoff area of turn 7. And that is our first safety car of the day. Now this race is thrown on its head. Interested to see if people make another pit stop. Why is this gap so close right now? Well, Tobias can now feel a bit of a breather right now. You should only pit if you're behind. Yeah, Max Stuka needs to pit. 100%. Tobias does as well. Karim doesn't. Solid does. Pedro does as well. Max is... Okay, that's interesting. Oh, that was a huge lag. Did you disconnect? I think the only one that was kind of making sense was Max Stuka. Softs. That's interesting. So it's changed. Any position changed? No. Only Max Stuka is down by 1 more position. Like, Rivershan also pitted. Why? Odd call, to be honest. 2 laps of a disadvantage currently. That would have been. And he would have been higher up the fields. Now he has to get by more people, which is always more risk. And I know that from experience, because I've done this shit myself. This is not the same level of driving. Here in AOR as for the league I did that in, and there were a lot of more people I had to go through. but very questionable because he was on the freshest and softest tire compared to the rest of the field. So this was his opportunity to stay out, gain 5 positions, and then fight it from there, because everyone was now around him. There's also penalties, including himself. Well, you must think that there's enough payers in his car to make a 3-second gap up. And that is always more manageable if you're ahead of other cars with penalties. Because if they fight and they have a crash, you are further ahead from them. But if you're involved in a crash and you still have a 3-second time penalty, or also a 3-second time penalty, then you're a bit screwed. But that's fine, I guess. At least for now. Well. The safety car is in, and we are once again racing in Singapore as Kaim is already pulling out to the inside for turn 1 to break a bit of the slipstream, because he's now under pressure from everyone behind. He has not pitted as well as the front 2, and Tobias is now on the charge to take a second, a third, or maybe even a first place here. He has the best opportunity to do so with his current tire advantage. Kramer's the next car behind, who has also pitted, as well as the second Mercedes of Solid Ninja Snake. Don't be irritated by the top left showing of the safety car. As you can see on the track map, there's no one ahead of the first car, which is also already gapping the rest of the field once again. Only after 1.5 sectors. And there was another leg here. And there they all come out into the open after that very difficult braking zone for what is turn 13 on this track. Let's see if Tobias fancies a move to the inside. He's defending from Kramer at the same time. And he made it. Oh, Kramer! 3-second time penalty. So Tobias just needs to be alive as Karim is now fighting for second. Has made that move stick, and that awful and awkward chicane of turns 16 and 17 now cost Tobias a place, and he is more and more falling to the back right now. He has 2 cars in front of him with time penalties. Kramer even has a 6-second time penalty now, so he is demoted massively right now down into the lowerings of this midfield that only still remains with 10 drivers. Let's see who has the chance to attack Kaim here. There's Tesik going for an offensive move. Maybe hits the back of Kaim and he loses the car a bit. And now both of the Red Bulls are fighting into turn number 8. Tizik still stays ahead for the moment. And Tobias is thinking, okay, I'm running out of time. I need to pass Tizik for second. All these other cars are within my proximity of their respective time penalties. Sorry. As Tizik now pulls out to give the position to Kramer, who has the time penalty. Okay. I have to ask a question to one of them. If one of them finish... Oh, well. Doesn't matter if they finish on the podium. 7 more laps to go on this beautiful racetrack. As Rising Moon has completely disconnected himself from the rest of the field. Once again, and everyone is trying to take evasive action for turn number 1 as they once again make their way to turn number 5 to use the DS, a drag reduction system that aids them in trying to overtake the car in front. And currently without that system is Kaim, who's now being overtaken. And Solid Ninja Snake is fighting Pedro therefore. Oh, and there's a hit to the back. Slight hit to the back of the rear diffuser from Max Duca. Max Duca running into the back of Pedro here. As Kaim has lost Kramer for 7/10 already. Because Tizik is on a hard tire. That's why he let him through. I totally forgot. Quick tire reminder. That's what we are working here with. That's what we are working. My brain just completely shut that. We are working with these tires right now, for fuck's sake. It wasn't too hard to say. Tobias needs to clear Tizik, because if Kramer has enough of an advantage, because these two are battling, or these three are battling too much, he will not be in 3rd position, but in 4th. And Kramer's using that tire. He currently needed to do, or needs to do, what Sainz did to Norris in 2023, because if he gives DRS to Karim, no one can overtake there really. But now Tizik has an opportunity to get by Kaim, and Kaim will lose these positions anyway. Kramer's not gonna get Rising Moon. An alternative line for Tobias. Fighting Tizik on the inside. What a switchback by the red car from Tobias. What a move. Absolutely stunning there. Also a bit of a mistake from Tizik there. He's probably losing his tires a bit right now. As there's another fronting damage, I think, to Pedro. As Solid Ninja Snake is going for it. Right hand side damage once. Oh, and Solid Ninja Snake overshoots into the wall. Lap 26. And there's a 3-second time penalty for Burn now as well. Tobias needs to pass Karim now to make sure he stays within that 3 seconds of Kramer. He's still in there, but it would help him if he can make a move to have a bigger gap for anything that might happen to him. He's currently in 4th position, and he's about to take his starting position back from Karim into P3, what is effectively currently 2nd place, and he locks up. He locks up into turn 8, unsettles his car, and Karim was on the back foot there. And Pedro has taken Tizik. Ferrari are cooking here. Despite Pedro's time penalty, he's still benefiting from that 6 seconds from Karim. So currently still in 4th position, because he can't gain from Kramer's time penalty. Second front ring damage obviously didn't help him. And Tesic needs to defend from Max Duca. I don't know why Tesic is struggling so much with these tires. Karim is kind of holding his own. But these are now 15 laps old. That should be still in the range. Max Duca is also defending from Rivershane. Everyone is fighting right now. Tobias has cleared the group behind. I'm just gonna keep you updated with these time penalties to see where the drivers effectively land at the end of the race. Rivershane has 9 seconds to his name. That's gonna be last position. Yeah, damage to the Mercedes. Tobias is currently not assisting his teammates. He could be though. Although that's hard to manage with a car that has front ring damage. Oh, and hit the wall again. Didn't worsen his condition of the front ring right now. And all of a sudden the battles have calmed down a bit. We are watching on board. We're watching the onboard from Max Duca now, who is, despite his penalty, is fighting for what is currently P6, but he will be promoted to 6 anyways because of Karim's time penalty. What a drive from Pedro. Twice damage to the right hand side end plate, which is drastically weakening his aerodynamic performance. And Tesic has taken Karim into, or there's damage to Karim's cars as well. And Max Duca hit the back of someone, I think. He hit the back of someone and spins out. Almost. Let's go back to the front group here. Tobias is close to Kramer. Less than a second now. Can use DS probably at the start of next lap. Doesn't need to fight it. He's not gonna gain anything from crashing now. And Tesic is still within a good shout of a 4th place here. Because of no time penalties. Only one of the 4 remaining drivers not to have one. And they are not liking their tires. And Karim is not liking the damage. Left hand side for him is not too bad, but you can see how the gap extended. 4.5 seconds now, as Byrne has overtaken Rivershane, who was exceeding track limits at the exit of the last turn. And Tobias is still not within the DRS window. Rivershane might even go for another fast lap if he has 2 tires left. Well, don't know. What about EIS? 20, 16, 14. And now Tesic is retaking 5th position from his new best friend Karim, despite this battle not being for 2nd. Well, everyone is kind of on the end there, and there's another piece of carbon flying as Rivershane has hit the barrier at the exit of 9. And Byrne stay there with Karim. It's an opportunity for him. Well, it was very close all of a sudden. And he has overtaken Karim for 6th position now. That's probably his final final position. And speaking of final, the final lap has been started by Rising Moon now. Pedro just opened a gap to Tizik. He's gonna stay 4th. That is my drive of the day. If he just keeps on doing. Wow, what a drive! And Solid Ninja Snake has overtaken Max Duke and River Shan. All of them suffering in the late stages now. Max Duke's tires are worn, River Shan and Solid Ninja Snake both have time penalties. Is there another move for something? Yes, there is. Max Duke back and ahead of Solid Ninja Snake. Tobias is playing it safe now. As for the final time, Rising Moon is heading into the 3rd sector. He has completely dominated qualifying, half a second ahead of P2. And he has led every lap and has taken the fastest lap. So that's a full 27 points for the Mercedes driver. He is once again closer to the championship and starts off with another win in the second half, or for the second half of the season. And that is a very impressive drive from Kramer. But Tobias is gonna take 2nd place for Ferrari as Kramer is demoted to 3rd. Pedro is in 4th, stays ahead with front wing damage and a time penalty. Tizik is 6th, then it's 5th. Tizik is 6th, 7th for Karim only. And Max Duke is gonna be 8th. No, they actually, Solid Ninja Snake is ahead of Karim now, so that's only P8. Huge swing between Tizik and Karim now. Max Duke is in 9th. And with no front wing, River Shan for V-Cup as a reserve is gonna finish this Singapore Grand Prix in season 28. As only 10 out of 12 drivers have finished this race, but it was one hell of a race. Beautiful qualifying session and a very fun one to watch. And Pedro is your driver of the day, and I cannot agree more. What a drive from the Spaniard. And Ferrari have just taken 2nd and 4th after being 2nd to last before this race. What a giga chat performance by the Ferrari team. And once again, it's Rising Moon to claim 1st, and that is now his 4th win in a row. Currently unbeatable and very much on the brink of taking a championship very early in the season. After just 49 minutes and 9 seconds, he takes the win. Tobias, then it's Kramer from 10th into 3rd position. The game gives somehow the drive of the day to Pedro, but honestly, that's still a very good shout. Tizik down into 5th, then it's Byrne, Solid Ninja Snake, Karim, as well as Max Duke. River Shan there in 10th, and then not finishing to the end. Super. And that was one hell of a race. And let's get some interviews going after a quick break. So stay tight. We are back for some drivers' interviews after tonight's Singapore Grand Prix race 9 out of 16 for AOR Season 28. Tier 1 F1 main split, and as it's tradition now, we start off with second place. And for today, cannot believe I'm saying this, Tobias for Ferrari. What a drive from you, what a qualifying performance to put you in this place, and then the right call on the only safety car we had today. And just a good performance, and you alone doubled your team's points today. So what was the key to victory? How did you prepare for that, and how are your feelings and emotions after this fantastic podium today?
Yeah, thank you. It was a hell of a race. Good points for Ferrari, finally a good team result. Yeah, I recently had a league race here in Singapore in my own league on Wednesday, and this went quite well. And so I had good practice. I had a setup. I had the strategy. So I was a little bit surprised about the times. I thought we were gonna see more 26s in quali, but in the end it was so tight, and yeah, good racing, good clean racing from my side. It was a little bit frustrating after the safety car. Yeah, everybody pushed quite hard, and Kremer got by, and then we both stuck behind the hard runners, but eventually we got by, and yeah, hold them off, no penalty, and yeah, no big mistake from my side, and yeah, fantastic result.
Yeah, indeed, one hell of a drive for both of you. One thing before the safety came out and you just completed the pit stop phase, obviously this was going to be a one stopper throughout every time, and there was this moment where you suddenly were undercutted by Tizik, who just pitted to the hard tires earlier, and everyone around you, including like Karim and Kramer, was there to take a shot at you. Although you had established a 3-second lead over third place at that stage, were you surprised by how much Tese gained there on the undercut, and obviously the frustration that built in with Byrne being on that very odd 2-stop there after you exited the pits?
Yeah, I was really surprised by Tesik, how much he gained, and he was right in there with the leader, with Rising Moon. But I saw it in the race director. He pitted 3 laps earlier than me, but I didn't thought he would gain that much. But yeah, it's Singapore. You can gain so many time when you undercut, and yeah, you need the luck to be in clean air, but yeah, eventually the safety car came in, and we both and all of them stuck together. Yeah, it was really really annoying to stay or to get behind Byrne. He was on old mediums, and yeah, he pushed his battery very much after the sector 1 straight, and then yeah, the next laps were very frustrating because he had old tires, and yeah, but I don't know when I overtook him, but yeah, it was quite frustrating at the time because the front pack got away, and yeah, I thought that's not that's not a good position to be in.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, that was one heck of a surprise for me. Obviously, your season has been up and down, a bit more on the downside. Only a 6th place after lots of penalties for people in Japan some races ago. So, is there any chance of a repeat in Portimao for the next race?
Let's see. Yeah, Japan was quite the same because I had a league. I raced once before AOR in Japan, so I had the setup, I had the practice, I had a feeling about the track, and yeah, the same procedure went through Singapore. So yeah, so if I race the first time on one track, yeah, it's very difficult for me, and especially in the game, I'm not feeling very that confident that I felt last year. The competition got stronger, and yeah, we all know about the game. And I had a lot of talks with Kramer throughout the season. That yeah, we had motivational issues, but I'm not that kind of person to leave it behind. I raced the whole season, but yeah, let's see how the next races are going to be. Yeah, Portimao will be my first time, so yeah, let's see. Maybe a surprise, but I think it will be it will be a fight for points again.
That's good to hear. Obviously, track penalties and track limits in Portimao also things. So if you keep it on the back stuff, you're good to go. And once again, congratulations on your second place and celebrate that. Truly, see you in 7 days' time for Portimao. And thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
And we move on to what is third place for now, Kramer in the Red Bull. Well, that was one hell of a fight. Once again, you are right behind your teammate. You are within this group of cars that was basically building the first DS chain for the first part of this race. Then you pit, you come out of Tobias just in that fight with Karim. And then, just a 3-second time penalty for now, denying you of that second place after you crossed the finish line. How was that race going from your side, and how satisfied are you with your performance today?
Well, as always, I'm really not satisfied from my qualifying pace. I don't know why. I just can't find the rhythm qualifying. But as soon as the race starts, usually I take a really good start. I jumped 4 cars just at the beginning, and then I was in the fight in the train, in the DRS train, trying to move up and down as the rest as it works on F1 games. But yes, I was really satisfied from the racing. Actually, I was able to make a lot of overtakes, and everyone was really respectful. And that was great. And as for the penalty, it was during a fight with Tobias, and I tried to leave space on the outside. I got a third warning for it. I'm gonna ask it if it's fair or not, and see if my penalty is afterwards.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, there was a moment in the race where obviously the safety came out and strategy was a bit open more. You pitted as well as Tobias to the fresh medium tire when your teammates said on the hards. Then we have discussed it before. There's no communication during the race, but he let you by. Did you kind of see that as an opportunity now to get past and try to make clear that even if that 3-second penalty stays, that you can get a hit?
I tried, but as soon as Tobias got out of the traffic, he was able to catch up to me. So I wasn't able to get the 3-second gap, and we'll see. We'll see in the next days what's gonna be the decision, the penalty. But as for the safety car, I was really surprised that the leaders didn't pit. I thought I was checking the minimap, trying to see if Tezik was gonna pit or not, if I was gonna get held up, but he didn't. So it was a surprise, but good for me and good for us, for Tobias. And actually, as for Tezik, a big thank you to him. We try from the beginning of the season. We try to be really respectful. Try to let him buy last race when he was in a softer tires than me, and now he left me by. So yeah, really respectful of him.
Yeah, obviously teamwork makes the dream work, and you're currently chasing down on what is now a very struggling Racing Bulls team just ahead of you. You just made some huge ground up today. Obviously, you're also very close to a teammate in terms of performance level. What is your main task ahead of this second half of the season? Fighting for the next best spot in the Drivers' Championship, or trying to bring your team as high as you can?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna try to get the better out of me as a driver, but Tezik was better than me for the biggest part of the season. So when he's gonna get an opportunity to be ahead of me, I'm gonna let him buy, I think, the next race.
And speaking of the next race, Portimao is the next track ahead. What do you think of this track, and what do you fancy about your chances there?
In F1 23, I liked the track. On F1 24, I didn't get the chance to hop in the car and drive around it. So yeah, I'll try to get on the track next week and see what it does. I really don't know what to expect from the next.
Okay.
Probably a bad qualifying and a better race as always.
Okay. Okay, then let's see what the next race has installed for you. And yeah, thank you very much for that interview and your insights. And see you in 7 days' time for Portugal.
Thank you.
Goodbye. And that has been it for today's AOR race from Singapore. As you can see, next is Portugal in 7 days' time for race 10 out of 16. If you enjoyed this, make sure to check out the other races we had so far in this season, especially one of the most interesting ones was certainly Japan. Monaco was one, a great one as well, and also this one was very entertaining. So if you stuck through it, congrats to you. You had some great entertaining probably. If you enjoyed what you've seen, check out the description of this video, of this live stream, to check out me and see more of me on my personal sites. And if you want to come back and 7 days time, make sure to leave a follow, or let's say a subscription to this YouTube channel of AOR, and see you in 7 days time. Have a good start to your week, and I've been Hermann. See you.